Welcome to story time. Enjoy with me.
Big Hair Day by Margaret Johnson.
Chapter 1. A Bad Start. I'm here in Norwich. Goodbye to my job in Jack's Cafe in London for 6 days. I feel very, very happy. I want to laugh and shout and tell everyone about it. I'm going to be in a film with Fabio Facelli. Yes, me, Sophia Reynolds, with Fabio Facelli. I love Fabio's films. And now I'm going to be in a film with him. Okay, it isn't just Fabio and me in the film. There are going to be lots of people. And I'm an extra. I'm not going to speak, but I'm going to be in the film with Fabio Facelli. It's 8 o'clock. I must be at Chapelfield Park at 10 o'clock. I have 2 hours. First, I can take my bag to my hotel. I start to walk, but a woman stops me. Excuse me, can you tell me how to get to Bank Street? She asks. I smile at the woman. I don't know Norwich, but I've got a map, I tell her. Thank you, says the woman. The map is big, and it's a windy day. My hair is over my face, and I can't see. I try to find Bank Street, but the wind takes the map from my hands. Oh! I start to laugh. The woman tries to help, but the wind is taking my map away. Come back here! I shout, and I run down the street after the map. The map goes under a bus. I wait for the bus to stop. Then I go and get the map. I walk back up the street, but I can't see the woman. I look for her up and down the street. That's funny, I think. I put the map back in my bag. Then I see that something's wrong. These aren't my things, I say. This isn't my bag. Oh no, she's got my bag. I look up and down the street again, but the woman isn't there. I don't know what to do. Everything's going wrong. First the map, now my bag. Then I see something. A police station. I take the woman's bag and start to run. I run to the police station and I go in. My bag! I shout at a policeman behind the desk. She's got my bag! You must help me, please. Chapter 2. Beautiful Eyes. The policeman doesn't look up at me. He's writing something.
Sit down, please, miss,
he says. I don't want to sit down. I want him to run into the street with me. I want him to help me. You don't understand, I say. That bag's got all my things in it. The policeman looks up at me. I see he has beautiful dark eyes. – Not like Fabio's eyes, of course. but they are beautiful. What? Why am I thinking about this man's eyes? That woman's got my bag.
All these people are waiting, miss.
The policeman tells me.
Please sit down.
I look behind me. There are 3 or 4 people waiting. They all want to speak to the policeman too. But I must be at work by 10 o'clock. I try again, but the policeman just looks at me.
Please, miss.
He says, I know, I say. Sit down. I go and sit down, and I wait, and wait. After 30 minutes, the policeman asks me to go over.
Sit down, please.
He tells me. I sit.
Name?
He asks. Sophia Reynolds. He writes it down.
And how can we help you?
I tell him about the woman and our bags. Now she's got my bag and I've got hers, I say, and I give him the woman's bag. He takes the bag from me and opens it.
There's no name in here,
He says.
We don't know how to find the woman.
What can we do? I ask. The policeman puts the bag down.
You must leave it here,
He says.
Now, tell me what's in your bag.
He says. I tell him, and he writes it all down.
Okay, Miss Reynolds,
He says.
we must wait for the woman to come in. Come back this afternoon, or phone us.
He writes the phone number down and gives it to me.
Give me your number too,
He says. I give him my number and get up. Thank you, I say. Goodbye,
Goodbye, Miss Reynolds.
he says, and then he looks away from me.
Next, please.
He calls. A man comes over.
Sit down, please.
The policeman says. Mr. Sit Down, I think. That's a good name for you. Chapter 3. Mr. Sit Down. Out in the street, I look for Chapelfield Park on my map. Good. It's not far. I can get there by 10 o'clock. I start to walk. Then I hear something and look down. A small boy is next to me. He looks about 3 or 4, and he's crying. Hello, I say. Where's your mother? The boy doesn't answer. He just cries. I take his hand. Don't cry, I say. I look up and down the street, but I can't see the boy's mother. I know what to do. I smile at the boy. Come on, I say. Come and see Mr. Sit Down with me. He's a policeman. The boy walks with me down the street. He doesn't stop crying. We go into the police station, and everyone looks at us. The boy is crying loudly. My policeman is speaking to a woman at his desk. I take the boy over to the desk, and the policeman looks up.
Miss Reynolds,
The policeman says. I speak fast. This boy can't find his mother, I tell him.
Excuse me,
the policeman says to the woman at his desk. He gets up and comes over to the boy. His face is kind.
what's your name?
He asks the boy. The boy stops crying. Peter, he says. Then he looks at the policeman. Are you Mr. Sit-Down? He asks. Oh, help, I think. The policeman looks at me. His eyes are smiling. I want to die.
I'm PC George Cooper.
He tells the boy. George, I think. His name's George. Then a woman runs into the police station. Peter! She shouts. Peter! She runs over to the boy. Peter starts crying again. Mummy! He says. George gets up. He smiles at me. I smile too. Everyone is happy.
Thank you for your help, Miss Reynolds,
George says.
Excuse me, says the woman at George's desk. I must be at work in 10 minutes.
Work! The film! I'm going to be late. Goodbye, I say to George. See you this afternoon. And I run out of the police station.
To be continued.